everyone looks to you, me, get us through it. Make the big decisions, and you've got to go on your gut sometimes, haven't you, in these roles.
Today's guest went from tech apprentice to co-founding a multi-million-pound IT firm. Glenn Sanger is the managing director of Bunker Technology, an IT services and cybersecurity firm he co-founded with his childhood friend.
You and Tom started Bunker with 2 laptops. What was the moment you knew it could become something real?
I started as an apprentice back in 1994, a long time ago now. But Tom and I, we always wanted to work together. We started our apprenticeship journey when we just sort of thought, what better way to make your life even more stressful than setting up your own business? As you say, 2 laptops, no real idea about what we were doing, but just thought we'd jump in the deep end.
We talk about growing without outside investment, the apprentice model, why being local is a superpower, and the reality of running a business with your best friend for 15 years.
Be positive, stay laser focused on, we'll get through this, but we'll get through this together.
Hi, everyone. Today's guest went from tech apprentice to co-founding a multi-million-pound IT firm, and now leads a team that supports clients across the UK and Ireland. Glenn Sanger is the managing director of Bunker Tech Solutions, a managed services and cybersecurity firm he co-founded with his childhood friend in 2010. From just 2 laptops and zero structure, they have built a resilient business serving professional services, retail, and charitable organizations with the core belief in long-term partnership over transactions. In today's pod, we talk about growing without outside investment, staying human in a tech world, hiring apprentices, and why Glenn stepped out of the server room and into the spotlight as the face of the brand. Hey, Glenn, glad to have you here today.
And yeah, look, thanks for the intro. It makes me sound quite important, doesn't it? But we appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
You are important. Glenn, let's start off with, I believe it's Tom, right? You and Tom started Bunker with 2 laptops. What was the moment you knew it could become something real?
Yeah, I mean, well, the journey's been pretty full on, really. This is actually our 15th year. So yeah, like you said, 2010 was when we sort of started in earnest. Well, this is actually my 31st year in IT. So
wow.
I started as an apprentice back in 1994, a long time ago now. Kind of got told to leave school during my A-levels, and I wasn't particularly enjoying school very much. I always liked technology, and it was growing quite quickly back then. Managed to get an IT apprenticeship and kind of just developed from there, really. Screwdrivers. I was driving around central London in a very beat up Bedford Rascal van, which we still laugh about now. Some of the guys in the industry that I still know, fixing printers and big screens and all that type of stuff. And I just loved fixing stuff, really. And the career kind of developed from there into sort of senior roles, IT management, IT directorship. But yeah, Tom and I, we met when we were 11. So a long time ago now. But we always wanted to work together. We started our apprenticeship journey when we were sort of 17. He was 18. And it got to 2009, I think, just after the sort of credit crash. And we just sort of thought, what better way to make your life even more stressful than setting up your own business? That's kind of what we did back in 2010. Yeah, as you say, 2 laptops, no real idea about what we were doing, but just thought we'd jump in the deep end.
And what gave you the confidence, at the age of 17 to go and start up your own company from the A-levels and all that? Talk to me about that, because people listening in today, given, where we are, the world has so many options, and youngsters listening in today, maybe thinking along those lines. Tell us more.
Yeah, I don't know if it was confidence, really. Probably a bit of naivety. We just sort of thought, look, we're working for other people. We're running IT departments. Surely we can do this at a better scale. A lot of what we were finding from some of our third-party suppliers, they were very reactive. When things were broken, they'd come in and resolve it. And it was always in our mind, well, should we invest more in technology to stop things breaking? And there didn't seem to be a lot of service providers at that time that were doing a lot of the proactive type work. So I guess that was the confidence that we had, was like, well, we know we can do this. It's a good idea. Let's go and do it. And I think that, with the naivety of, well, how hard could it be to run a business? And from a couple of techies that didn't know how to run a business, I think that's the you kind of need that as well. I think you need that bit of passion, desire. You do throw yourself into deep end, and there's lots of different areas that you sort of get involved with. IT is one area, but you obviously got to run a business. You've got to understand profit and loss and accountancy and all this type of thing, and obviously the legal angle of running a company. So it's a steep learning curve, but I think that's what keeps you on your toes, and I think that's the kicker to starting a business, is get out of your comfort zone. There'll be lots of things you don't know. Open your ears and your eyes, and you will succeed if you've got that desire.
Got it. And if it was not for Tom, would you have gone for it all by yourself? Or was Tom here like you?
Yeah, we do talk about that a lot now, actually. Particularly in the last sort of 15 years, there's been moments where I've not felt it, he's not felt it. And I think having a business partner, or certainly a sounding board as well, that you know very well, like I said, we're friends, and bizarrely we're still friends now. That really helps. I think without it, it would be more challenging, very lonely. A lot of the people I speak to in the industry that are sort of set up their own businesses, and they're the leader. They are at the top on their own. They do talk about how lonely it is, and those decisions always fall on their plate. So yeah, I think having your mate alongside you has certainly helped, particularly some of those difficult decisions.
Yeah, makes sense, right? And in terms of having a business partner, what are kind of values or advice you would give someone who's listening in to say, okay, if you're searching for a good business partner, not everyone is blessed to have, a friend from the age of 11 now, today, where you all are. So what kind of key qualities would one look for? Or what guidance would you give there?
Yeah, good question. So I think for us, Tom and I are very different, and that helps. Whilst we started in technology and have sort of logical minds and that type of stuff, we're very different characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps. So there's areas that I'm very weak on, and there's areas that he excels on. And you've got to find, I think we spent the first sort of 2 to 3 years kind of doing the same things.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't get you anywhere, because you're very wary of doing the things that he's doing and vice versa. I think that helps. If you're going to find a business partner, well, first off, understand your own weaknesses, I think, is key. And I think you should do that anyway, whether you're, running your own business or whether you're part of a team. You really do need to understand what you're not very good at, and get the people around you that are very good at those weaknesses that you've highlighted. Those are the things I think that will plug your gaps as well. So yeah, find someone that's not like you. Otherwise, you're just the same.
Yes.
Just doing the same thing.
Got it. And you're currently rolling out EOS, right? What is EOS for the audience listening in? And the next one is, what triggered that change? How is it going so far?
Yeah, a game changer for us. And I think it's one of those, I look back now and wonder how on earth I ran this business without it. So it's a framework essentially to running your business. The entrepreneurial operating system, if you like. It's a framework, like a lot of these things, but I just like the clarity of it and how we define our vision and our culture, but how we actually got to those answers, really, and how we did it. But I think it's only relevant for, I guess, small, medium-sized enterprises that don't have a framework and how they're running their operations internally. I think it's really, really good for that. But then it's about how you scale that, and culture can get lost as you scale. So I think with EOS, it gives you that framework, gives you those, they call them level 10 meetings that we have with our leadership team. We have them once a week, that you're only really discussing the things that can move the needle within your business. Everything else, well, we'll put on an issues list and we'll get round to it. But these are the things that I need you to work on in the next month, quarter. And that's really helped us. But you've got to have the headspace for it. And I think that's key. So when I look back and when I do say, we should have done this years ago.
When did you start the EOS implementing?
This year.
This year. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Oh, wow. Okay.
This year. I think it's, we got involved with changing our business in the last couple of years, becoming really, really proactive. And that was key for us. We didn't have the headspace. Really, we're client-centric business. So everything we do internally, does it help the client? And we're so focused on that, we kind of forgot how to run things internally.
Right.
And when you're going to client meetings or QBRs we have with our clients, quarterly business reviews, we're always talking to our clients about how we can help them. And I think taking a step back and actually, wow, we really need to do this for ourselves. We need to be our own client and understand what's required for us to grow. So that's really helped us. Yeah, we love it. We absolutely love it now.
Fantastic. Glenn, you're the face of the brand, but how do you balance, and you're also a techie, right? How do you balance being technical and as well as being the face of the company?
Yeah, so that's been a difficult leap.
Mm-hmm.
I would say around, I guess, the back end of 23, early 24, I made the decision where I've really got to step out of the technical role. I was finding it not passing me by as such, but I wasn't really enjoying it. I love technology, always will. It's where it's got me to where I am today. But I much preferred talking to clients about their use of technology. And I was doing less and less of that and more kind of helping out when things are escalating or doing the technical work. and actually probably getting in the way. And I was employing a lot smarter people than me to do that stuff, and really kind of, I guess, handcuffing them in a way and not letting them get involved. And I thinking I knew everything.
Right.
Because that's the way I used to do it, and I wouldn't do it like that. And yeah, so I actually just got back to what I enjoyed doing, which was helping the clients, listening to them, talking to them about their use of technology, how technology can help their businesses grow, make them more efficient, make them more secure, and actually taking all that information away and talking to the techies and going, right, what can we design for them? How can we help them? Have they already invested in a technology that they're not using well enough? You know, that type of stuff.
Yes.
And I was much more enjoying that and actually better at it. So yeah, it's been a good change for me personally, but a difficult one to do. But again, it comes back to what I said earlier. You've really got to understand what you're good at, where your weaknesses are, and actually letting other people do things for you that they're actually better at it than you are.
Oh, yeah, spot on. Yeah, we always talk about it in the coaching framework, having a baseline and understanding your weaknesses and strengths out there. Speaking about healthy relationships with clients, how does, and now you've taken on this new role, a new kind of, actually it's a new role, looking at year one, your relationship with the client, and today where we are in 2025, what does a healthy client relationship look like from what it was in year one for you?
What it was back in 2010, 2011. Wow.
Yeah, compared to today.
Yeah. So I do look back now, and I don't think we knew what success looked like.
Okay.
We just didn't know. So coming from being techies, two techies starting up a new business, we thought success was we'd fixed a problem. Brilliant. Move on to the next problem. Fix that. Okay, great. Move on to the next problem. Fix that. And that was success. But actually, it wasn't. There was no client satisfaction there. The client didn't really understand what we were doing behind the scenes. We were just classic techies that hid yourself away and resolved things.
Yes.
So when we look at our journey now with a client, and any new client we take on board, we take them through a kind of 90-day plan, a journey, if you like, that we're understanding their business first and foremost. We don't even really discuss what we do technically. We don't discuss any solutions. We don't discuss any products within the sort of first few weeks of working with them, or any client review early on. It's all about their business. What do they do? How do they use technology and what they've got? Not what we do, but they're not interested. We're more interested in them. So we ask a lot of questions, a lot of baseline questions. We need to understand from the client, what do they think success looks like? Where do they want to be in 12, 24, 36 months? How are they going to get there? What are their growth plans? Are they a 20-person business going to 30 or 40 or 50? Have they got an office move? Have they got a new product that they're launching? Success for us is it's all about partnership. I don't even like the term managed service provider, really. It's partnership. And if I could change it, I would. But, changing this industry is a slow burning thing. So, yeah, success for us is understanding our clients. Technology is an enabler for their businesses. So we position ourselves to help them do that. Success isn't just fixing stuff anymore. Break fix days are over. An MSP that focuses on break fix won't be here in 2 years' time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Speaking about success, what are the top 3 things that have made you successful where you are today, Glenn?
Client satisfaction. Like I say, we're a service-centric business. We thrive on feedback, good or bad, and that's the kind of number one criteria for us. Nothing pleases me more than good feedback about one of our technicians that's done a fantastic job in supporting a business and help their growth. And a lot of our clients we've had for many, many years, so that's definitely a success criteria for us. We've formed a lot of friendships over the years with a lot of these businesses. A lot of the owners, the CFOs, the IT directors that we work with are now friends. That can be good as well as bad sometimes because they've got your own personal number, but that's the kind of way we work. It's a partnership. And I guess, it's profitability as well. It's a dirty word sometimes, but, look, that's how we enable our staff to get the things in life that they want, and I think that's a criteria for it as well. And that helps us talk to other business owners as well. They're in it to make profit and to move the needle forward with their business, and we're no different on that front.
Interesting. What's one trend in managed services or partnerships or cybersecurity that actually is useful versus just noise that you're seeing right now? Well,
there's always a lot of noise in this industry. I mean, technology moves at such a rapid rate, and we were in a huge, a huge moment of change, and it's moving very, very quickly. And look, I don't want to be crude about it, but there's AI experts everywhere at the moment, isn't there?
Yes.
But the reality is AI is here. It's everywhere. You can't run away from it. So you've got to understand it. You've got to adopt it. You've got to use it. You've got to test it out yourselves. But what you've got to understand why. What's it going to do in your business and your organization? And for us, it's all about automation. So can we do things quicker? Faster response times, better resolution times, more automation around how we service clients. That's kind of key to it. But I do see AI really as a part, again, I love the word, it's a partnership. It's not going to replace humans, but it's knowing the humans against the machines. I don't know why we seem to create this war all the time. We've got to work together on this. It's not one versus the other. Humans will get the best out of these tools. You've got to understand the prompts. You've got to understand actually, is that going to make my role quicker, more efficient? Will it free me up to do higher level tasks? So yeah, there's a lot of noise definitely in the industry about it. But I look at it like in 2020, when COVID hit, everyone missed human interaction, didn't they? Everyone missed
Correct.
it.
Yes.
And we're now in sort of 2025, 26, where we're now thinking we don't need humans. But actually 5 years ago, we missed them. We missed that part of it, didn't we? So I think we've got to be very careful. We've got to really understand what are we using AI for. Automation, fantastic. That's been around for generations.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So yeah, adopt it. Don't run away from it. It's here to stay. Get the best use out of it. And the next generation of people coming through and the workforce, they will understand and adopt it and use it very efficiently.
Yes, very true. Just coming back onto apprentices, right? You're very big on hiring apprentices. Why does that matter to you personally?
Yeah, matters a great deal for us. Like I said, that's how I started. I had thrown in at the deep end. Like I said, when I was 17, I did about 18 months, an apprenticeship that should have lasted 3 years. That's how good it was for me. So they budded me up with senior technicians very early on. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Just on the job learning. It wasn't classroom led. I mean, classroom led stuff was, particularly at school, was what I wasn't very good. I wasn't very interested in learning stuff out of textbooks.
Right.
It wasn't relevant in the real world. And it's only when you got in the real world, I realised, wow, I've wasted a lot of time kind of trying to learn things that weren't relevant. Apprentices are key for us. We have a workforce of 15, 3 of which have been with me over 6 years now. One has been with us 9 years, another one 8 years, and it's all on the job learning. We're very fortunate in our industry, particularly with some of the vendors that we work with, the learning and the university kind of courses that we have access to are fantastic. Mm-hmm. We do a buddy system where we have apprentices working with senior technicians on a daily basis, and that's key. I think it's very important to train the next generation of workforce,
Yes.
And I've got to be very careful about what I say because we work with a lot of recruitment companies and there's some fantastic recruitment companies out there. There are also some that really don't care about the individual and they just want to put them into situations or workplaces where they're not going to thrive, whereas we like to promote internally. We like to train internally. And that's key. I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't have a lot of inspiration and a lot of people that I work with that helped me along the way. And if I could make it from a dropout at school to running a company, I don't see why anybody else can't do it. And I'm very, very passionate about it. I'm a father. I've got 3 children. I do see the opportunities for my children kind of being diminished over the last few years, and entry-level jobs are disappearing. So I think it's very, very important that the companies like ours take a chance on apprentices. They're going to make mistakes. That's the beauty of it. Train them, help them, let them make mistakes, because you know what, you could have some real good superstars on your hands in a few years' time.
Absolutely. And speaking about, you have apprentices on one side and very experienced. So what's your approach in building high-performing teams at that level? Because the clients we work with are quite, mid-sized companies also, so they expect a lot.
Yeah, communication is key. Your culture is key. Mm-hmm. You've got to have the right culture. It doesn't matter if like I said, when we started, we thought culture was just fixing stuff and moving on to the next thing. But it's only when we started scaling, we understood that communication, transparency were very, very important. Bringing the right people in the right seats. You've got to get your culture right as you scale. It's no good kind of going from 2 people to 20 and then all of a sudden, well, wow, I don't have a culture. Everything's everywhere. Everyone's doing a little bit of everything and doing it quite badly. So I think that's very, very key to it. And building those teams, delegation is very important. Like I said, I removed myself from the kind of technical team, and the technical guys will tell you probably the best thing that I ever did, and they're much happier now. Yeah, understanding those areas, bringing people on the journey, and everyone in your organization needs to know what success looks like. what's your metric for that? Whether that's, in our industry, there's a thing called kind of seat price and that type of stuff.
Yes.
There's all sorts of different metrics that mean nothing to the client, but mean everything to an MSP like ourselves. But all of our team, everyone in our business knows what a good month looks like, what a good quarter looks like, what a good year looks like. Everyone has their number that they hit on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. So yeah, bring them on the journey, let them know what success looks like, but include them on some of those decisions that I have to make, Tom has to make.
Yes.
And be really open and transparent. I think that's how you build a good team that's got buy-in.
Love it. And then when you look at your company, you were recently nominated for an MSP award was it Beverly Hills? And what does that kind of recognition mean to you?
Yeah, the MSP Titans Award. Crikey, well, I mean, wow, it was a real honour, actually. If I'm honest, didn't expect it. You just think you're a small little business in London trying to fight your way through all the other competitors. But I think it's been a real I'm my own worst critic, so it's very difficult to me to sort of be positive about some of the things that I do. But it feels like a big pat on the back, really, for the last couple of years. Like I said, since I've sort of stepped out of being technical and actually leading the business more on the business development side, I'm quite honoured. I'm very honoured. Like I said, it's a long time since I left school, and I do have a lot of imposter syndrome, and it's something I work on a daily basis. I really try and focus on the things that I control now, not the head trash that I have. I speak with one of my vendors and a guy quite high up there that I get on great with, and he's always tell me, Glenn, how's the head trash today? Because he understands it.
Of course, yes.
Everyone at every level has it, and I think if you don't, you're probably not human. So I work hard on that. And I think that makes me humble, and also it makes me quite relatable, I would say. So yeah, the award, wow. I mean, I'm honoured even to be nominated. It'd be great to win it as a pat on the back, but I'm a little bit uncomfortable with well dones and things like that.
No, makes sense. You talk about awards, right? And now we're today on the podcast. What does personal branding mean for you?
Well, look, it's been really important. Like I said, it's pushed me way out of my comfort zone. I never actually thought I was particularly interesting. But I think once you start telling your story and you become quite relatable, I think people understand you a bit more and actually are interested in what you're saying and what you've got to the insights of starting where I was 31 years ago to where I am today. For me, that term, the personal brand, it's not, polished in a corporate sense.
Yes.
Really, it's just about being yourself.
It's being raw, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love meeting people, asking questions. And I think that's helped me understand the clients that we work with and understanding their businesses. I play golf, so that's my hobby of choice to unwind, although it's kind of the most frustrating hobby you can get. But look, golf teaches you etiquette, good play, being humble. You're playing with people from all different walks of life. There could be a CEO of a business. There could be a labourer, a builder, that type of stuff have all got the same issues, family issues, work issues. They're all relatable. And it's only when you start asking questions that you can help and you can understand. So yeah, look, personal brand, I don't like it in the corporate sense that it's engineered.
Mm-hmm.
Be humble, be a good person, be curious, said it from the outset, open your ears, open your eyes. You can learn a lot from other people.
Yes.
And be authentic. Crikey, you're not going to be able to keep it up. If you think you're going to pretend to be someone you're not, people see through it.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Glenn, if you had to, when it comes to Bunker, if you had to sum up the ethos of Bunker in one sentence, what would that be?
Yeah, we've worked hard on our culture, our sort of true values, core values, our vision.
Mm-hmm. What are your core values? What are top 3 core values?
Partnership is the key for us, transparency and work ethic. Look, like I said, we're a service-centric business. We always ask ourselves in all of our leadership meetings, and it's great to hear the technicians and the apprentices talk in the same way so that the culture is going through. Will what we do make a difference to our clients? Will they benefit from some of the decisions, some of the things that we want to implement? Will they benefit? If the answer is no, we then ask ourselves, well, should we do it? So that runs through our business now. And it's fantastic when you take a step back and you listen to the guys in the team talking about all the things that we've been trying to implement for the last couple of years. So yeah, that's a very proud moment when you've had these meetings and then you can see it run through and then it's working.
Love it. And what's one book you would advise every CEO to read in your kind of industry? Yeah,
a bit cliche. Look, EOS traction, it's made a fundamental difference to our business. I think if you're trying to run a business today and make some headwind, without a framework, without an aligned set of values in your organization, you're going to struggle. You won't really know what success looks like. And I think that's really any industry. We're surrounded by data now, aren't we? KPIs, targets, all that type of stuff. So really understand your people, the right people in the right seats. And this book will help you identify a lot of that. You're probably doing a lot of this stuff anyway. And I think we found we were doing a lot of this stuff, but actually doing it quite badly. Whereas this book, I'm not a great reader. I love reading on holiday, but when I'm on the train, it's very distracting. So I'm Audible podcasts and Audible, and I just rerun some of those chapters. Just keep rerunning, keep an eye identifying that. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. But as I said, I'm really interested in people. So a lot of podcasts that I listen to, CEO, the sort of high performance stuff. Understand different people from different industries, because it's all relatable. And you can pick up some really good stories, some good nuggets that can really, really help you.
Fantastic. Glenn, what's next for you on this journey of yours?
I'm just really enjoying the business again. COVID shook us as a business, and I think it shook us in terms, we lost a lot of clients that their businesses shut down overnight. And that's tough. That was really tough. And I think we lost a bit of our culture along the way. Like I said, a lot of those clients that we lost, a lot of them were personal friends. Seeing how they've rebuilt as well has been, it's been very good. But I'd definitely say the last couple of years, I'm enjoying it again. I've got a newfound energy for it. So it's a growth phase for us now. And I think that's important as well as any leader in any business. Don't rush it. Everyone that you speak to and every bit of advice that you get is, you should be, if you're here, you should be there. If you're there, you should be there. If you're doing 1 million, you should be doing 3 million. Oh, you're doing 3, well, you should be doing 5. You've got to understand where you've come from. And like I said, I'm my own worst critic. I don't need anybody else to tell me badly. I've got a lot of that going on.
Head thrash.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to take stock. You've done well. It's okay to just take a moment, because growth comes from all those places where you don't expect it. The good ideas come from places you don't expect them to come from. I'm just really lucky now. We've built a phenomenal team here. I'm just loving watching their growth. Like I said, taking a step back from the day to day, seeing these guys develop. I think that's the next 2 to 3 years for us. We've built a really good foundation. We're scaling with purpose now, not scaling to rush. We're not chasing revenue. I'm not looking to double client base in the next 12 months. That's not what we're about. We're actively looking for clients that want to use technology in the right way, want to develop their operational procedures, how technology can help them. So yeah, we're just really excited for the next few years, really. And it's nice to come somewhere where you enjoy work, because there were many years during COVID I didn't like work. So yeah, I'm really excited by the next few stages.
That's beautiful. Yes. And we always say, right, your chapter 15 maybe someone, and you don't compare yourself to someone's chapter 40 in the book, right? So it's really different where you are. So understand where you are. That's absolutely brilliant. The last question I wanted to ask you, when you mentioned about COVID, was there any point in this whole 15 years that you all thought, you all wanted to throw the hat in and just quit, both you and your partner?
Yeah, well, COVID was tough. Look, I think, we made a lot of bold decisions in 2017, 2018. We saw the way agile workforce was going. So we butted heads with a lot of our clients about remote working, agile, access from anywhere. Cybersecurity could see that on the rise. We were very early adopters in that. And I think being a smaller business lets you be more agile. So that built us a whole lot of trust. So when COVID hit, all of our clients were able to work remotely anyway. A lot of them were secure already. Everything was kind of sorted for them. So that kind of helped us through that period where we lost clients, because the ones that we had the foresight to improve their systems way before COVID, that enabled their growth. There were times during COVID, I think, when actually I was working from the summer house in my garden, and it was freezing in the winter, no sign of lockdown kind of coming to an end. Is it really worth it? How am I going to keep all this together? I can't control a lot of this stuff. And some of the guys that were working for us were, really struggling mentally. And I think it got to a stage where it was like, are we going to get through this? When's the end of it? The kids were going mad. They couldn't see their friends. I think that was that was very tough on everybody. Look, and everyone looks to you, me, get us through it. Make the big decisions, and you got to go on your gut sometimes, haven't you? In these roles, so you be positive, stay laser focused on. We'll get through this we'll get through this together. And that kind of helped us really. So yeah, that was tough. That was a tough moment.
Yeah, fantastic. No, that's great. I mean, we always say, right, if you don't quit, fail, as the saying goes out there. Absolutely. Glenn, great having you on the show. That's a wrap for today. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time. Enjoyed that. Thank you.
Thank you.